Hi, everyone. This is Tammy Patzer, and I'm really excited to be part of the Champions Mentoring Creates Change program sponsored by Memories in a Mansion. And today, I have the honor and privilege of having two superstars with me, Nancy Matthews, creator of the One Philosophy, and she's also the visionary with guts, and the creator of memoriesinamansion.org, Diana Aldereguia. So I am just so happy to introduce you. And first of all, I want Diana, to explain what the Champions Book Project is all about and Memories in a Mansion.
Memories in a Mansion. Thank you, Tammy. Thank you very much. Memories in a Mansion is a global leadership academy for young women at risk. Our goal is to empower 10 million plus women globally throughout their lifetime. We are going to have them go through a 4-month in-house process where they go through personal development, business skills, including public speaking. They have self-care, self-hygiene. They learn how to properly, nutrient or eat well. Let's put it that way, healthy. How to take care of their bodies, how to value and respect themselves. Why a mansion is what a lot of people ask. A mansion, it's out of their realm of possibility right now. Right now, it would never occur to them that they could much less enter, much less live in a mansion and learn all the skills and be cared and heard and valued but by those people who actually live in mansions.
So tell me more about the Champions Book Project.
The Champions Book Project is a way of us raising funds for the project. It is it's a compilation book with 19 chapters, 19 authors, 9 chapters, of awesome people who have explained how they've overcome their own challenges. We all have them. We've all gone through them, some personal, some health, some, career changing. We've all gone through them. And there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, especially when we keep working and we listen to the people around us. Sometimes there are people who are wanting to help us that we don't really pay attention to.
Well, I know for a fact that it's a very worthwhile program, and there's a real need for mentors in the world today, and especially for women and girls. So, Nancy, I'm really happy to have you here today because over the years I've listened to you a lot as I drive up and down the freeway, and you're known as the visionary with guts. And I think that is so interesting because just the other day you and I were talking about your vision and how I heard about it on a CD many years ago, and I'd really like you to touch on that at some point in our conversation today, because it just proves that when we have a vision that it can actually come true. But with that, let me tell everyone about you, Nancy Matthews. Nancy is an international speaker, best-selling author, and she's a leadership, sales, and marketing expert. And again, Nancy is known as the visionary with guts for her willingness to blaze through challenges and obstacles and to turn adversity into advantage. She brings more than 30 years of experience to show you exactly how to do what you love and have the money follow. Very important to have the money follow. Her genuine care for others shines through, whether she's on the stage, hosting her weekly radio show, working with clients, or standing in line at the market. She loves to teach and share the exact strategies, creativity, and focus that allowed her to grow from being a single mom, living paycheck to paycheck, to create not one, but $2 million businesses and make positive differences in the lives of thousands of people every single day. Her mentor, John Maxwell, says, once you've tasted significance, success will never satisfied. And again, I want to remind everyone, Nancy is the creator of the One philosophy, and her chapter title in the Champions book is called Perspective. So with that, Nancy, tell us how perspective and shifting your perspective is so important and why.
So, first of all, thank you both for inviting me to be here today. Diana, for inviting me to be a part of this project. Mentorship is absolutely essential, and who we are mentored by is also a key factor. Because the truth of it is, we all have influences in our lives from the time we're little children all the way to growing up, through school, our parents, our family. And I believe, and I know to be true for me and those I work with, that it's the selection and being intentional with your mentors that you choose that brings about the type of life you really want to live. And again, how this ties to perspective. Everything we experience can be tied back to and related to what our perspective is. How do we see life? Do you see the glass as half empty, or do you see the glass as half full? I mean, we all know that analogy. And when you shift your focus and your belief system to the perspective that, you know what if I could have just what I wanted? Instead of saying, I can't have that or that's impossible, a shift in perspective brings you to, well, what if I could? And that actually opens up the pathway for the possibilities and opportunities to be revealed. So for anybody who's watching this, consider this. If there's an obstacle or challenge that you're in the midst of right now, or your life is not as you'd really love it to be, shift your perspective. Start with this. And shift the perspective to, well, what if this challenge I'm experiencing right now, whether it's a loss of a job, a loved one, money issues, weight issue, whatever you're going through, what if this actually was for my benefit? How would I respond and react if this was for me as opposed to against me? That simple shift in perspective will change your life dramatically. And I invite us all to consider that the moment something that's less than pleasing or satisfying shows up in your life.
That is so funny, because just the other day I had a situation that I felt like I'd been taken advantage of. But when I shifted my perspective, I realized that everything that had happened actually had forced me out of my comfort zone, and it was really to help me grow, and it was to my advantage.
That's right. Good job.
That is so interesting to me. So I wanted to ask you about the concept of mentoring, and why is that so important to individuals?
So with mentorship, it's about having somebody who's in your corner that believes in you even more than you believe in yourself. A great mentor will be able to see beyond whatever challenge or obstacle might be in the way. A great mentor is somebody who believes in infinite possibilities, that anything can happen. And when we are striving for more in our lives, or when we're just trying to survive as well, we can only see what's happening within the box and the framework that we exist in, which is one of the reasons I love Diana's Memories in a Mansion concept. Because just by when these young women walk through the doors that very first day of class, their whole world is going to be open to something that they never would have even thought of. It's kind of like mentorship, especially in this context with Diana, the way she's got it structured. it's kind of like taking somebody who believes the world is flat, emphatically, this is the way it is, the world is flat. And then you open the doors and you go, wow, that's what the world and the earth really looks like. That's the gift that she's giving these women.
Wow, that is just so phenomenal. And I know that you've worked a long time, and I think one of your big legacies in life is the one philosophy. And I love it because the book itself is something that you can read in a short period. I've actually carried it with me in my purse on trips, and I pull it out when I'm traveling. And it really helps to just prepare you emotionally and mentally for being the one. And I'd love it if you could talk more about what the one philosophy is.
I'm delighted to talk about it. I could do it all day long, every day. So, and Diana, as a matter of fact, is one of the certified trainers and teachers of the One Philosophy. So she knows it quite well also. So the One Philosophy is really about allowing us to be the best version of ourselves at all times. And here's what I mean by that. So this little tiny book, The One Philosophy, is about treating each and every person you meet as the one. So what I noticed years ago was that if I thought someone was the one, you know, my next best client, my connection that was going to get me on TV, my husband, my spouse, when somebody's the one, I observed in myself and others that we would tend to treat that person with more respect, more attention, more value. And then when I looked at that, I was like, well, isn't that interesting? If I think somebody can do something for me, I'm going to treat them better. Well, that didn't really feel good. So I started a little experiment with treating each and every person I meet with that same level of interest, curiosity, in, you know, valuing them. And through this experiment of treating everyone I met as the one, something magical revealed itself. And what that is when you treat people with that same level of respect and attention, like you're responding to their every human's most basic need, which is see me, hear me, let me know I matter. So whether you're at a networking event, a conference, the grocery store, or a restaurant, like be with that person and let them feel that they matter. When you do this, you end up being the one that reminds them that they do matter. So in this whole philosophy and in the book and all the teachings and everything I do with it, what I know to be true is what I just described. Every single person who's watching this video was nodding their head and saying, yeah, I do that, right? That's what's going on. Well, here's a question. Why isn't our world like that? Our world isn't like that because too many of us are dealing with, I've got to pay the bills, I'm in a hurry, I'm going to be late for an appointment, my to-do list is too long, I can't pause and pay attention and be with people. So the principles that are shared in the book are reminders that make it easy for you to implement and live the way of the one.
It really is a phenomenal philosophy. I'm going to shift over to you, Diana, because I wanted to ask you about how the one philosophy played a role in your Memories in a Mansion development.
I need to thank first Nancy for coming up with the program and the mentoring, the coaching for the One Philosophy. Those are, and they were all very basic concepts that we all know, and we all know how to treat people that way. But like Nancy said, we do it when it's someone that matters, you know, and everyone should matter. Mm-hmm. And that's how I want the girls to feel, not because they come from a less than perfect background, should they be treated any differently than someone who, I don't know, who has a larger bank account, for let's say, or that can help me, or that can improve where I'm at in any which way. I think they should learn that it doesn't matter who you are, they should treat the person the same way that they expect to be treated. I guess the golden rule back in kindergarten, treat others as you would like to be treated. And that's the whole philosophy behind the mentoring program, Memories in a Mansion.
Thanks, Diana. I know it's just so wonderful because I've seen over the last couple years, like Nancy's been teaching the one philosophy more and more, and I see as she teaches it, more and more people are rising up and coming up and creating and allowing themselves to be the one for other people in not only one-to-one ways, but globally. So
Exactly.
I think it's like one of those things where it starts with that ripple, and the one philosophy seems to be rippling out into the universe, and more people are actually manifesting their legacies based on, you know, that simple concept of being the one. So Nancy, I know that when you teach the one, does the O and the N and the E stand for anything in particular so that you can remember it?
Yes, 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 yes. I love to teach in that way. And there are actually 6 principles. So if you take the one, T-H-E-O-N-E. So there are 6 principles. And again, they're just gentle reminders of how to show up to be the one for others. So do you want me to do them real quick?
Sure, yes.
Okay. So the letter T stands for talk less and listen more.
Good advice.
Great advice. I'm sure we've all heard that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth and we should use them in that proportion, but we don't. Right? So talk less and listen more. And when you really listen to people, they feel heard, they feel valued. That's probably the most fundamental piece of living the one philosophy, is to listen more. The next one, the letter H, is to hold and hone your vision. So each and every one of us has certain interests, things that matter to us, things that are important, our purpose, our passions are all different. And when we can connect with that passion, that purpose, it creates a vision for how we want to create impact in the world, in our businesses, in our families, our communities, whatever that is. So when you consistently tap into and hold that vision, the universe will conspire in your favor to put other people in your path. So if I may, one of my visions since I wrote the book, The One Philosophy, which is about 6 years ago now, one of my visions was that the one philosophy would be taught in the entire school system, so that children would come up in the schools. I mean, really, if children valued and honored each other, which is part, again, of what Diana's doing here, would we have the atrocities happening in our schools? I don't think so. It's got to start with the teachers, right? It's got to start with the teachers. So you were listening to a CD that I recorded probably 6 or 7 years ago. And I share, like I'm saying, my vision is for this and that to happen, and that the one philosophy is in all the school systems. Well, last week I spoke to a superintendent in a school district, and I'm submitting a proposal to bring it as a pilot program to this school district on Long Island in August. So, yeah, hold and hone your vision. I didn't personally make that happen by calling school systems. I had other people who, like you're talking about, get the one philosophy and the ripple of it. They met somebody in a school system, invited them, gave them the book, blah, blah, blah. So our visions intersected. So when you hold and hone your vision, the opportunities and the people will be placed in your path for the realization of it. The letter E is to exhibit exemplary behavior. And that means, you know, whatever your values are, be a person that lives your values. People can count on you. People can trust you. Because how can you be the one if somebody doesn't trust you? Because you're shaky in your values, or you do actions that are less than above the board, right? The letter O is to own your life with 100% responsibility. I'll save that for another day because it's a pretty deep way to take life on. But basically it means you don't blame or complain. You look at everything from the perspective, going back to where we started, you look at everything that happens in your life from the perspective of it's happening for me. Just like with you, you thought somebody was trying to take advantage of you, but actually it was a thing to have you grow. When you took responsibility for this incident, you said, okay, I'm owning this. What can I do? So that's owning your life with 100% responsibility. The letter N is to never, 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 never gossip. Simple rule. We've all heard if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all, right? But it goes beyond that in following this simple rule is to never say something about someone that you wouldn't be willing to say to their face. And then the last is to exercise your mind and your spirit daily to continue to feed yourself with positive beliefs, values, ideas, creativity, rather than, you know, negative news, negative people. We have to be responsible to pour the good stuff in because there's plenty of garbage out there.
Yes.
If I can fill myself up with good stuff, there'll be no room for garbage. And that's it.
Well, that's the beauty of the one philosophy. It's simple and something that if it matches your value system, if you're somebody who is trustworthy, honest, reliable, the one philosophy seems to me to be a no-brainer type of a situation, but it's such a beautiful reminder. And again, like you said, if you can hold that vision and keep moving forward, the universe conspires to help you create something beautiful and positive. So if somebody wants to get in contact with you, Nancy, what's the best way to do that?
They can go to my website, nancymatthews.com, and all different kinds of ways to connect and freebies on there. And then also through Women's Prosperity Network, one of my companies that I have with my two sisters, which is actually how we all originally met, was at events that we were hosting with Women's Prosperity Network. So you can go to either one of those websites, nancymatthews.com or womensprosperityNetwork.com. Join me on my weekly show that I do called Wow Wednesday. Email me, nancy@nancymatthews.com, and just be the one. Be the one out there, my friends.
Yes, and again, nancymatthews.com, there's a ton of really good information there. So Diana, I want you to, again, recap what's going on with Memories in a Mansion. And I know you have a big event coming up in August. So tell me a little bit more about that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. On August 1st, from 7 to 9 is our launch. It's a book signing and announcement to the world about Memories in a Mansion. It's at the Villa Woodbine with Chef Bill Henson, for those of you who know anything about chefs and cuisine. We're excited. And I wanted to add Nancy Matthews as my coach and mentor, and the One Philosophy. The One Philosophy and giving back is part of the program in Memories in a Mansion. The girls will have to come back and be the one for the following that come into the program. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome.
And the One Philosophy is also going to be part of the curriculum. So,
wow, that's really phenomenal. So Nancy, before I let you go, do you have any last comments you'd like to make?
Yes. So I'm going to make two last comments. And my first one goes to, if you're watching this, definitely get the book. Definitely contribute to the work that Diana's doing with Memories in a Mansion. And just consider the next time something shows up for you that's not how you'd love it to be. Shift your perspective and say, if this was actually something for my benefit, how would I respond? So I invite us all to be the creators of our lives, to be response-able, so that's response-able, able to respond in a way that serves you and people around you.
Well, thank you so much. And that perspective shift really is really a valuable tool. And I'm living proof of that, because it's just like, whoa, just look at things a little bit differently and you'll see that the universe is really working for you. You just don't always acknowledge it. So Diana, again, do you have any last things you'd like to say to the audience?
Yes. By changing the life of just one young woman, imagine you change her life, the life of her family, and the life of her community. Imagine if you multiplied that.
Wow, imagine
That could make.
Power.
what a difference.
Mm-hmm.
So everyone, it's nancymatthews.com and memoriesinamention.org. This is Tammy Patzer. Go make it a beautiful day.